Hello, Prepare5s. Welcome to Session 3. Today we're going to be practicing how to say numbers in English. All right? So you're going to take out your books and you're going to open to pages 72 and 73. Before we start reading together, I'd like to point something out to you that can be a little confusing, and that's the use of the comma and the dot in English. Basically, it's the opposite of the way you use a comma and a dot to write numbers in both Spanish and Catalan. So, if in Spanish and Catalan you would write a number with a dot, in English you use a comma. Likewise, if in Spanish and Catalan you would write a number with a comma, in English you will use a dot. So please notice that as we're reading through the text. I'd like for you to read the text twice. All right? The first time I'm going to read it to you and you're going to read along with me. But I'm going to ask you to circle or underline any words that are new to you. You're going to look those words up, write the meaning in the margin of your books, and also add those words to your vocabulary list that you should be keeping in your notebooks. Then, because this is recorded, you're going to go back and you're going to read the text a second time with me, but the second time you're going to read along with me. Okay? So, let's get started. I am on page 72 and I am looking at exercise 2, and this is what we're going to read. You ready? Calculating speed. Speed is a measure of how fast something moves. We often calculate speed in kilometers per hour. That is how many kilometers something travels in 1 hour. For example, if car A goes 100 kilometers in 2 hours, it's traveling at 50 kilometers per hour. If car B goes the same distance in only 30 minutes, it's traveling at 200 kilometers per hour. Converting speed. We can change speeds from kilometers per hour to meters per second. We multiply by 1,000, the number of meters in 1 kilometer, and then divide by 3,600, the number of seconds in 1 hour. To convert meters per second into kilometers per hour, we do the opposite. We multiply by 3,600 seconds in an hour and divide by 1,000 meters in a kilometer. Calculating distance and time. If we know a car's speed and the amount of time it travels, we can find out the distance it goes. We multiply the speed and the time. If we know a car's speed and the distance it travels, we can calculate the time it takes. We divide the distance by the speed. Okay? So, after you have read the article twice, you're going to do exercises 3 and 4. I know it looks more like maths than English, but when we get back in class together, I'd like to practice saying those answers because that's the important part in an English class. Not so much how well you do at calculating the answers, but how well you do at reading them. Okay? And now we're going to look at exercise 5. Exercise 5 on page 73 is a listening exercise. You are going to listen to a student presentation about the sonic star, and then you're going to complete the summary below. So what we are going to do before we do the listening is we're going to read through the text with the gaps. Why? Because this gives us a very good idea of what the listening is about and it tells us what kind of information we're going to be listening for. Okay, so I'm going to read the text, but with the gaps. Here we go. The Sonic Star is a new airplane that will start flying in. It will be a supersonic plane, so it will travel faster than the speed of sound, which is kilometers per hour, or Mach 1. Concorde flew at Mach, or about 2,240 kilometers per hour. But the Sonic Star's top speed will be Mach, or about kilometers per hour. The new plane will also fly very high at an altitude of meters. Most planes don't fly higher than 12,000 meters. The Sonic Star will travel from London to New York in hours. At the moment, a non-stop passenger flight from the UK to Australia takes about hours. But with the Sonic Star, the flight from London to Sydney will only be about The Sonic Star will only carry about passengers. I don't know if you noticed, but all of those answers are numbers. For example, number 1, we're listening for a year. And in number 2, we're listening for a number that tells us the speed of sound. So all of the answers that you are listening for in this particular exercise are numbers. Okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to listen twice. The first time, you're going to do your best to answer to fill in all the blanks. And then the second time, you're going to go back and you're going to check to make sure that you're right and to fill in any blanks that maybe you missed the first time. Okay? So let's start.
Track 1.34.
Okay, everyone. Are we ready for the first presentations today? Can everyone sit down, please? Right then. We'll start with Kevin. What's your presentation about today?
It's about the Sonic Star, a new type of high-speed plane.
Great, Kevin. That sounds really interesting. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Today, I'm going to talk about the Sonic Star. It's a new aeroplane that will be ready to fly in 2021. A European company called Hypermark is designing the Sonic Star as a new form of passenger transport. The new plane will fly at supersonic speeds. That means it will go faster than the speed of sound.
Excuse me, Kevin. Can you tell us what the speed of sound is? I don't think everyone knows.
The speed of sound is 331 meters per second. That's 1,191 kilometers per hour. It's also called Mach 1.
Thank you, Kevin. Continue, please.
All right. So, before now, the only supersonic passenger plane was Concorde. Its top speed was Mach 2, or twice the speed of sound, so about 2,240 kilometers per hour. But Concorde stopped flying in 2003, and at the moment, there aren't any other supersonic passenger planes. Right. The Sonic Star will be much faster than Concorde. Its top speed will be Mach 3.5. That's 3.5 times the speed of sound. So about 3,800 kilometers per hour. Of course, it won't fly that fast all the time. It will go much slower when it takes off and when altitude of 19,000 meters. Most passenger planes only fly about 10 or 12,000 meters.
That's very interesting, Kevin. And how long will it take the Sonic Star to fly from London to New York, for example?
Not long at all. The distance from London to New York is about 5,500 kilometers. And the Sonic Star will travel that distance in about 2 hours. It will fly slower when it takes off and lands, of course, and it will only fly at top speed over the Atlantic Ocean. For longer flights, it will be much better. Right now, a flight from London to Sydney would take about 20 hours, and most passenger planes stop along the way, so it takes even longer. But on the Sonic Star, it will be a non-stop flight, and it will take only 5 hours.
Really? That's quite a difference, isn't it? And when did you say the Sonic Star will be ready?
They say the first flight will be in 2021, so we won't have to wait much longer. I'd love to be on the first flight, but it'll be really expensive, I think. The Sonic Star will be a plane for business people, and it will only carry about 15 passengers at a time.
Well, thank you, Kevin. That was very good. Does anyone have any questions for Kevin? I'm sure you've all been listening intently to this. Yes.
Okay, let's check your answers. Okay, so I'm going to read them to you and then I'm going to show them to you. So for number 1, I have 2021. For number 2, 1,191 kilometers per hour. Number 3, 2. Number 4, 3.5. Number 5, 3,800 kilometers per hour. Number 6, 19,000. Number 7, 2. Number 8, 20. Number 9, 5. And number 10, 15. So I'm going to show you my answers. See if you can see them. Okay. Okay. So if you look at the little box at the bottom of page 73, you have some famous transport systems. High-speed trains, for example, I see the AVE. And fast ferries, I see Tarifa Jet. And then bus rapid transit. Okay, so that's the end of session 3. I look forward to seeing you all back in class. Stay well, work hard. Okay, bye-bye for now.